Hello, welcome to Spring Premiere 2022 with the Anthropology Department. We are so excited you're here. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Nathan Heatherly. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Baylor. But we're going to have a great presentation about the Anthropology Department, what that looks like, and what that can look like for you. But it's enough for me. I'll let Dr. Binetti take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Binetti. I am a faculty member in the Department of Anthropology. I've been with Baylor for about 15 years now. And I also serve as the undergraduate program director in the department. And so that's why I am here today bringing you a view on what our undergraduate program in anthropology looks like. I also have with me today Cassidy Duncan, who's one of our students. She is on our kind of health track in anthropology, headed toward medical school sometime soon. Too soon for me because I don't want to see her go, but Cassidy's here to monitor the chat and answer any questions that you may have or that come up during the presentation. So you can go ahead and put those in the chat and Cassidy will answer them for you. So let's go ahead and get started because I actually have a lot more slides than we can probably get through. But part of the reason I've left them in this presentation is that you will have access to this later on through the admissions website. And I'd like you to be able to see this information later if you want to review the program again. So I probably will flip through some of these pretty quickly, but that's okay. You'll have access to this to look at later on. All right, so what I really want to talk about today mostly are our degree options and some career paths, but mostly what it would look like to be an anthropology student at Baylor. So our faculty is small but growing. We have 11 full-time faculty. We typically have some part-time faculty, but most of those faculty members all have PhDs. Actually, all of them currently do. And then in terms of our student profile, we typically have about 100 undergraduate majors, 20 or so minors. We also administer the forensic science minor degree, and that is a very popular degree. This number is actually inaccurate. I just checked it yesterday and we're at 176 minors. So that program is very popular and growing. And we have recently added a PhD program to our department with a focus on the anthropology of health and wellness. In terms of the undergraduate offerings, we basically offer two major degree plans, a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. The Bachelor of Arts degree is then subdivided into sort of three different flavors or categories. We have the general offering, which is going to be the most flexible. There are no required upper level specific courses for that. Basically, the student gets to choose what upper level anthropology electives they want to take. Then we have the archaeology offering, which is specific to students who really want to pursue an archaeology degree for entrance into a graduate program, or even for doing CRM tech work. So being an archaeologist with a state agency or something along those lines. We also offer an environmental anthropology Bachelor of Arts. And that really just kind of focuses on interactions between humans and the environment, and might set students up for a good kind of trajectory to go to law school or work for NGOs, consulting firms, things like that. On the science side, we offer, again, three categories or three options for the Bachelor of Science. The general one, again, is going to be most flexible. And then we have two specific ones. One is forensic anthropology, which is very popular. We do have probably the most majors in the forensic anthropology concentration right now. And that one just kind of focuses on applications of biological anthropology to crime and crime investigation. And then the newest of our Bachelor of Science degrees is our health-oriented degree. And this one is especially good for students who want to go on to medical school, but also for students who might be looking to get a master's of public health. And we're having a lot of success with our students who are taking this healthcare path. I'll highlight some of them in a minute here. We also offer a minor in anthropology, and as I mentioned, the minor in forensic science. And most minors at Baylor are 18 or so hours, as these two are. In terms of a fit with anthropology. I think there are a lot of students who fit into anthropology. And what's interesting about them is they can be very different, but they all come together around this desire to understand humans and our place in the world and what we're doing now, how we got here, and where we're going. But specifically, anybody who's interested in international research or study is well placed in anthropology. Any of the pre-professional students, pre-med, pre-law, that are looking for something to distinguish them from other applicants to those types of competitive programs would do well to choose anthropology as a major. It's something that both law schools and med schools are interested in, and it doesn't preclude you from having to do all of the pre-med, pre-law, prerequisite work. Any students interested just generally in human health, wellness, the environment, those are all students who belong with us in anthropology, as well as those who are interested in doing archaeology, either domestically or abroad. And anyone interested in public education or museum studies are also really well situated in anthropology. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, this could be a good major for you. I'm actually going to skip through these. This is just showing you where some of our graduates have placed over the course of probably the last 10 or so years. So you can come back and look at that later on when you get a chance to download the presentation. Same deal with employment. So those were graduate schools and professional schools. These are employers. I did want to talk really briefly about a couple of our successful students. This is Jeffrey Traylor. He was one of our very strong health-oriented students, and he was actually part of the inaugural class at UT Dell Medical School, which started in 2016. He has now graduated from UT Dell Medical School and is a neurosurgery resident in Dallas. I mentioned law school being kind of another focus area. This is Brooke Sarton. She was actually started pre-med, came to anthropology because she was really interested in it. Did finish up her BS degree, but really decided she wanted to work more on the legal side of sort of humans and helping humans. And she's actually really interested in global health and equity and medicine, but from the legal perspective. We also send students to graduate school regularly. So this is Brooke Benorden. She now has a master's degree and is a professional archaeologist working in the state of Texas. And then Greg Ortiz is another one of our really outstanding success stories. Greg got a general bachelor's degree in anthropology. He is now a PhD in anthropology. He's currently a postdoctoral fellow at University of Chicago. And he's doing really cutting edge, great research that is being very well received globally. So those are some success stories, but many of our students land in places like these. And I just wanted to highlight some of the kind of diversity. In terms of what you'll get when you're a student at Baylor, I think one of the best things about our program is that our classes are small. They are taught by faculty, not graduate students. Cassidy can attest to that. She's lived with me for 2 semesters in a row here. But our faculty know our students, and that is, I think, an important thing in terms of sort of making sure that students are getting good advising, good letters of recommendation for grad school, and things like that. Another thing that is kind of outstanding about our program, and I actually just spoke with our provost about this yesterday at our department faculty meeting, that one thing that really sets us apart is that students get to do things in our classes from the get-go. It's not to say that we don't do a lot of reading and writing. Those are absolutely things that we also do, but they get to work on actual hands-on projects very regularly, I would say in probably 80% of our classes. And the benefit there is that it really gives you a taste of whether this is something for you and what it will be like to be a professional in these fields. Always we're encouraging critical thinking. And so we have some really good conversations in our classes, not just being contributed to by faculty, but students really get a chance to sort of explore their ideas about things as well. We do offer some fun classes. This one is the human osteology class. That's Dr. Colleen Zori, who is one of our faculty members. She's actually primarily in the BIC, but she does teach with anthropology regularly. And this is where that hands-on stuff comes in. Students get a complete skeleton to work on during the course of this semester, doing the human osteology class. The next course in that sequence, this is kind of for the forensic concentration, would be forensic anthropology. So first you do the osteology class, learn the whole skeleton, and then the next step is to learn how to analyze the skeleton. So we do a biological profile of the skeleton. Is it male, female, age, sex, ancestry, those sorts of things. And look for any pathologies. So recognizing any damage to bones, things like that. Other classes that we offer in the department, we actually offer a gross anatomy lab. That's my colleague there, Dr. Joe Ferraro, who is highlighting our anatomy lab and showing, without too much graphic detail, our plastinated cadaver that we teach with in this class. And this is a really great opportunity for undergraduates to learn anatomy on an actual human cadaver. This class is now also cross-listed with the biology department, so we do have kind of a mix of anthropology and biology students in that class. Other classes that our students really enjoy are some of our forensic classes. So this is a look at our blood stain pattern analysis class. As you can see, a lot of these classes are very hands-on. Students get to actually participate in these types of exercises. This is just a look at some of our facilities. So over on the far right there on your screen is what I like to call our cabinet O heads. These are all cranial specimens. Everything that you're seeing there are casts, but many of them have unique pathologies to them so that we can learn from them. The bottom row there with the black boxes are real human skulls that we use to analyze and learn about the cranium. You're also seeing our anatomy lab again there, and then some fingerprint analysis class where they're dusting for prints on that car. I also wanted to highlight some of our faculty and what they're doing in terms of research, because there are a lot of opportunities for our students to gain actual research experience with our faculty members. So two of our more recent hires are Dr. Mark Flynn and Dr. Sam Erlacher, who are both biologically oriented anthropologists who are interested in social organization and how it is that human societies have been successful or less successful, and what their health factors or how their health factors are influencing that. So Mark Flynn has been working on the island of Dominica for more than 30 years, working with a single population and studying them through time and working with them. He's specifically interested in stress and children and their development. And very similarly, Dr. Sam Erlacher, who joined us from a postdoc at Duke, and then prior to that, his PhD from Harvard, is also a biological anthropologist working in 3 different parts of the world: Papua New Guinea, Ecuador, and Mexico, and also looking at child development, stress, nutritional status, physiological health, very broadly. We do offer some very specific opportunities for our students to get some experience abroad. Specifically, the Italy Field School has been very popular in recent years. So this is an archaeological research project set outside of Rome in a small town called San Giuliano. And this excavation, this site spans the time frame from early Etruscans all the way through medieval times. And they're sort of exploring what this village was like then. And many of our students enjoy participating in that particular program. We also offer a more local option for field schools. This is our most recent Central Texas Archaeological Field School, which went to Hall's Cave, which is just outside of Gatesville, I believe. And we have 2 instructors who have collaborated on that project. This is happening again this summer. that it would be Dr. Josh Keene and Dr. Marion Coe, who are both PhDs from Texas A&M and have a lot of experience in Texas archaeology. An important thing that we have all come to realize in the last couple of years is online course offerings, which we typically always offer these 2 classes in the summer, but we are expanding those offerings this summer to include an intro to archaeology class, an intro to global health class, and our evolution of human societies class. 3 of those classes fulfill lab science course requirements in Baylor's core curriculum, and the other 2 fulfill social science requirements in the core curriculum. So they're very helpful to kind of knock those out of the park in the summer, and we do offer those courses online. Right now, summer only, but it's possible that we would offer online courses in regular semesters in the future as well. I also wanted to highlight our research lab facilities a little bit. So again, you're looking at Dr. Joe Ferraro there, who is analyzing goat skeletal material in his zooarchaeology lab. And the zooarchaeology lab has a plethora of different animals that we can use for comparative study with skeletal samples that are under research or that come to us from even law enforcement. So as bones are discovered out in the world, they need to be identified, and our Zoarc lab helps with that. We also have a forensic facility that is where a lot of our forensic courses are taught. That's a little bit off campus, but it's a nice large facility. And then we're doing some new lab work in our biocultural physiology lab, our radiocarbon archaeometry lab, and then our human ecology lab. A little bit more about the field research that some of our faculty do. This again is Dr. Joe Ferraro working in Kenya, in northern Kenya, on the archaeology of the very earliest modern humans to have been discovered in Africa, and looking at how their behaviors have changed and modified over time. So those are all artifacts that you're seeing right there next to his foot, and a little bit of the landscape with our camel herders that run through our field sites on a regular basis. We also have people who work in Central America. So this is Dr. Julie Hogarth's field site in Belize. She works on the ancient Maya, specifically looking at how climate change affected the civilizations of the ancient Maya in Central America. We have another faculty member who also works in Belize on modern humans and looking at how climate in the form of major climatic events changes the economy and the trajectory for people who subsist on kind of tourism for their livelihoods in Belize. This same faculty member that I just mentioned who works on tourism in Belize also has started a project recently in the Republic of Georgia, doing some ethnographic work there. And I'm always really jealous of her because that looks like just the most beautiful place to work. And she's very happy and has taken students into the field before. I think the student right behind Dr. Alexander in this picture is, so this is Dr. Alexander here, and this is one of our Baylor undergraduates who went with her to the field. I also wanted to mention we are part of the Science Research Fellows Program, if that's something that you have targeted at Baylor as an area of interest for you. The Science Research Fellows Program is a major on campus, but you also have to sort of select an advisor or faculty member and some courses sort of within that framework that are discipline specific, and the Anthropology department is part of that. We also offer an Anthropology Honor Society that is for our majors. They have to meet a certain GPA requirement, but once they do, they get honors at graduation, and there are some opportunities for scholarships through the Lambda Alpha organization as well when you go on to graduate school or wherever else you decide to go. We typically do a goat roast, which we are very excited to hopefully bring back this spring. This is a fun event that the department hosts where we make some stone tools. We use those stone tools to butcher up some goat limbs. We then roast the goats and eat it with some potluck side dishes. We usually do some spear throwing and some croquet playing amongst all of the festivities. And it's an event that really kind of brings the anthropology students and the department together to sort of experience what all of these things would be like if we were kind of early humans or whatever. Last couple of things to talk about. We do have a relationship with the Baylor and Beyond LLC. If you're looking at places that you might like to live on campus, this is one that we really we partner with and that we recommend highly. It's a really diverse dorm situation. It's also recently renovated. And even though it is such a nice place and has been recently renovated, it tends to be on the less expensive side of the dorm spectrum. So if you're looking for a place where you're going to find sort of similar, like-minded student population, we definitely recommend the Baylor and Beyond LLC. That is all I have for my presentation. Hopefully, if there have been any questions along the way, Cassidy has been able to address those. I'm not sure, Nathan, if we have like a minute or so to ask any direct questions that I can answer. And where would I see those questions if I...
Yeah, attendees, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat now, that we can get to those. If not, I think we are good to go, but we'll just wait around for a couple more minutes, see if there is any questions.
That sounds good. Well, thank you. You can also all feel free to email me. I'm easy to find on our department website. So if you do have questions that come up down the road, I can be your contact point for answering those questions about anthropology. If you want a student perspective too, you can email me and then I can send those questions to Cassidy. So.
Fair enough. Awesome. Every time you talk about that goat roast, it sounds so much fun.
It is so much fun. We will let all the admissions folks know when we have scheduled one.
Please do. And honestly, if you just let me know, I'm fine with that too.
No, I think it's important for all the admissions folks to see it because I do think it's kind of a selling point on our program. Just you get to see the interactivity that our students engage in. And I think that's such an important aspect of our program and what makes it kind of unique. So.
Yeah. Well, if you want to let me know, I'll let everyone know and we'll do it.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Binetti and Cassidy. You guys are great. And thank you so much. See you next time.
All righty. Thanks. Bye, guys. Thanks, Cassidy.